So, good morning. Let's start in a easy bound angle position. So bringing the soles of our feet together, letting the knees open up, and the feet don't have to be super close to our body. Just find that comfortable spot. We're not trying to challenge ourselves just yet. Just find those sitting bones. Let the knees relax. Hands can just come to the ankles or to the tops of our knees if we would like, and just close our eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. With every breath, we feel our body begin to just let go, surrender to gravity. The knees can fall a little bit further without any effort. And then when we're ready, we can open our eyes or keep them closed. We'll bring those hands down to our feet or to our ankles. We'll lengthen on the inhale and just a little tiny fold. Bringing that chest forward on the exhale. Again, just gentle fold. And one more inhale here. And then exhale. Let's lower the head and round in the spine as we fold. Inhale, roll our way up. Good. And now let's take those feet away from our body just a little bit further for a star pose. So we're elongating our diamond. Hands can still stay to our ankles or to our feet. Long backs, and then exhale, we'll fold. We should be able to fold a little bit deeper here as our legs are further away. And slowly we'll help ourselves back up to seated. We'll bring those legs together and out in front of us. Give them a little bit of a wiggle here. Sitting bones are still pressing into our mats. Let's flex those feet so we can almost see the undersides of our toes. Hands will come to our thighs, little fold here, wiggling those fingers down as we exhale. Good. And now keeping our fold, depending on, no matter where our fold is at this time, we're just going to take that left hand, trying to reach to the outside of the right leg, either to the toes or to the ankle or the calf. And then we'll just take that right hand, reach it back behind us. Either we can find the floor or just a little reach into a bit of a spinal twist here. And then slowly we'll come back to the center, taking one breath here in the center. And then when we're ready, we'll move over to the second side. Right hand comes to the outside of that left leg, the knee, the calf, or the foot. And then the left hand reaches back behind. And slowly we'll come back to the center. We'll lower the head, round our backs, and help ourselves all the way up to seated. We can cross those legs in just an easy, comfortable position here. Good. Inhale. Let's lift those hands up to the sky. And then exhale, little angel arms, bending the elbows. Bring those shoulder blades together, opening up the heart. Big wide fingers here. Lower the shoulders away from the ears. Good. And now we're just going to flap our wings a little bit. So hands, try to keep our shoulders where they are. We'll just slowly lower the hands toward the ground, keeping those elbows up. And then inhale, we'll come back up to the top. And then exhale, lower those hands. Keep that rotation in the shoulders going. And then inhale up. Good. Exhale, rotating in those shoulders. Now let's just hold here at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. Good. Bringing those hands back up, and we'll lift them up to the sky. Good. And then exhale. Let's bring them back behind us. See if we can touch opposite elbows with our hands. And again, pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Lift the heart. If we're happy here, we stay here. If we would like, we can even try to fold forward. See how that feels. Pulling those shoulders back even as we fold. Good. And then we'll release those elbows. Hands can come down to the mat. And we'll walk the fingers forward, roll over onto past our shins, onto our hands and our knees. Fingers are wide on our mats, underneath of our shoulders. Knees are underneath of our hips. Feet can be flexed or they can be soft. It is completely up to you. And then when we're ready, exhaling, rounding into a cat, lifting that spine. And then inhaling, cow. Dropping the tummy, lifting the heart. Exhaling cat. And inhaling cow. Good. Moving with our breath. Just lubricating that spine. Let's do one more cat and one more cow. And then we'll come back to our neutral spine here, breathing into that belly, active core all the way around our torso. Lengthen all along our spine. Good. And then we'll lift up that left hand to the sky. And then exhale, threading the needle, but we're not going to stay here. We're just going to thread and breathe. So reaching underneath, and then inhale, lifting the hand up to the sky. And then exhale, reaching through. And inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time. Inhaling all the way up to the sky. Good. Exhale. Let's thread that needle. We can lower the shoulder down this time. Listen to the mat with our left ear. We'll take 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Unwinding back to our tabletop. Second side. Inhale. Let's lift up that right hand. Opening wide. And then exhale. Threading that hand through underneath the left arm. And then inhaling, coming on up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Good. One more time. Inhale all the way up, opening wide. And then exhale, threading the needle, and then we'll rest here for another 3 breaths, lowering that shoulder down. Good, and we'll come back to our tabletop. Pressing into those hands, all of the fingers are working down in toward the mat, opening up the shoulder blades, good active core. Let's reach back that right leg. Toes point down to the mat, and we'll just bring the toes down and press the heel away. Let's get into that calf a little bit. Good, and slowly bending the right knee, extending in that left leg back behind us, and then lowering the toes down, pressing the heel away. Good. And lowering that left knee down next to the right. Let's tuck those toes underneath of us. Press into the palms and we'll lift our hips up to the sky, bending the knees, lengthening in the spine. We wiggle and waggle our way into a downward facing dog. Pedal those heels a little bit more. Waggle around in our hips and our tail, pulling the shoulders away from our wrists. Hips are coming up high. Good. And now let's walk those hands backwards towards our feet and find ourselves in forward fold here. Knees can be soft and bended if we need. Maybe we work our way into longer legs as we go throughout our practice. Good. Bending the knees deeply, rounding in the spine will slowly rise all the way up to standing. Spreading the toes out nice and wide, pulling the shoulders back, lifting the heart. Mountain pose here, Tadasana. Good. Let's bring those knees and thighs together, pointing the toes toward each other. Hands will lift up toward the sky as the butt comes down to sit down into our chair. And then inhale back up to Tadasana, hands coming down. Good. Exhaling, sitting down into that chair. Inhaling back up to Tadasana. Good. Exhale, sitting down into that chair. Let's hold our chair. Good. Arms go back behind us. Eddie the Eagle. It is ski week, after all. And then hands back up. Good. And back to Tadasana on that inhale. Good. Let's lift our hands up to the sky. Weight shifts into our left foot. Let's lift that right heel up and slowly bend the knee in towards our chest. Good. And now just a halfway step forward with that right foot. We'll lower the left hip down and we'll come into warrior one. Pulling that left hip forward, bending the right knee. Good. Let's reach even further forward. Chests come forward, pressing that left heel back behind us. Good. Inhale, nice and high. Warrior one. Good. Let's bring those hands down right in front of these right toes. Press into the right foot, lift up the left foot back behind us for a 3-point balance. Beautiful. Lowering that left foot down. Really lengthening that left leg. Let's step back with the right for downward facing dog. Inhaling forward, let's come into a plank. Plank can come onto our toes, or we can lower those knees down, whatever works for us right now. Exhale, chest will go forward, elbows lower back, down towards our ribs. Hands are underneath of our shoulders. Inhale, we can do a little cobra, or we can come up to upward facing dog. Let's tuck those toes. Lift the hips, press them back for downward facing dog. And walking those hands backwards toward those toes, forward folding. See if we can keep the weight towards the front of our foot, toward those toes, which will help keep the hips over the ankles so we're not leaning back onto our heels. Softening those knees, rounding in the back. Slowly we rise up to Tadasana. Hands to our sides, chest is proud. Good, exhale, let's sit down into that chair. Good, inhaling Tadasana. Exhaling chair. Inhaling up. Moving with purpose. Activity in our body. Exhaling down to our chair. Let's hold chair here. Good. Now let's see if we can lift those heels up. Good. Exhale, heels go down. Inhale to Tadasana. Let's lift the hands up high. We'll move all of our weight onto our right foot so we can lift up that left foot, bringing the knee in toward our chest. Little balance here. And then when we're ready, just a half of a step forward. And we'll set ourselves up for warrior one on this side. Bending the left knee, pulling that right hip forward. Good. Keep that deep bend in the left knee, pressing the right heel back behind us, pulling that right hip forward. Let's lean with our hands reaching forward. Chest is coming forward. Keep pressing that right heel down. Good. Inhaling back up to warrior one. And then we'll lower those hands down right in front of the left toes and lift up that right foot back behind us, turning the hip down to face our mat, pressing the heel away from us. The press is what will get us the height instead of opening up the hip. Press, which will help lift that leg. And lowering that right foot back down, stepping back with the left foot, downward facing dog. Let's inhale forward. Exhale, we'll lower down into our choice of our back bend. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, press back to downward facing dog. Good, let's lift up the left leg. Three-legged dog. Let's kick ourselves in the bum and open the hip up to the side. Good, and then we'll slowly bring that knee back to the center, into our chest, stepping all the way forward in between our hands, keeping that bend in that left knee. Lowering the right foot down to the mat. We'll come up to warrior two. Good, let's inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Good. Exhaling, side angle. Opening those shoulders, one on top of the other. Good. Good. Now let's shift those hips back behind us. Lengthen in these inside ribs. And we'll set ourselves up for triangle pose. Good. Bending that left knee. Let's come back to warrior two. Good. And now let's turn our hips and we'll lift up this right heel into a high lunge. Good. Taking that left hand back behind us, right hand comes forward, little twist. And now let's lower the right hand down to the mat. Left hand comes up to the sky. Lowering the left hand back down to our lunge, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhaling forward. Exhale, let's lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips for down dog. Good, let's lift up that right leg. We'll kick ourselves in the bum, open up the hips to the side. Bringing that knee into our chest, stepping all the way forward into our lunge from here. And then when we're ready, lowering that left heel down, opening ourselves up for warrior two on this side. Bending that right knee so deeply, opening the hips out to the left, shoulders are down. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then exhale, side angle. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle. Good. One more time. Up to reverse warrior. And then side angle. Now from here, stacking the shoulders, lengthening that right leg, shifting the hips all the way back behind us. Lengthening on those inside ribs for triangle. Good. Back to our warrior two. Good. And then slowly we'll turn toward the top of our mat for a high lunge. Exhale, right hand goes back, little twist here. Lowering that left hand, right hand comes up, opening those shoulders. And then slowly lowering that right hand down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Flowing through our vinyasa, inhaling, coming forward to our plank. Exhale, we'll lower down. Inhale to a back bend. Heart opener. Good, and then from here, let's lower all the way back down to our tummies. We'll bring our elbows underneath of our shoulders. Toes are tucked, pressing in to our forearms and our hands, pulling those shoulders back. Begin to lift those quads up off of the mat, and we'll lift our hips back as if we were in down dog, but we're on our elbows. So now it's called dolphin pose. Good, we'll lower those knees down to the mat underneath of our hips. We'll walk the hands out in front of us, lowering the chest even further down for puppy dog pose. And then slowly, let's walk those hands back. Hips can go over the heels. We'll open the knees really wide, keeping the toes together, and we'll come to a wide-legged child's pose. Arms are out in front of us. Chests and hips are low. We can even rest our head on a mat. From here, keeping our hips over our heels, let's walk our hands over to the left side. Bringing our chest over or toward that left knee. And then slowly we'll come back to the center for one breath, pressing the hips back. And then when we're ready, walking the hands over to the right, bringing that chest toward or over that right leg. And then slowly coming back to the center. One more breath. And then let's swish those feet over to one side. We'll help ourselves back to our butts. Swing the legs back all the way around to the front. Good. Feet are on the mat, knees are bent. Good strong spine here. We'll just take this right foot and we'll cross it over the left knee, foot or the ankle over that left knee. And now the hands can come back behind us. Pull those shoulders back. And then think about moving that right knee away from us. And the chest kind of tries to chase it as we lift the heart. Get a little rotation in that hip. And then the left foot can come as close or as far away as we need today on this right hip. Good. And then we'll slowly use our left toes to wiggle that leg nice and long, keeping the cross in with our right leg. We'll just place that foot onto the ground on the opposite side of that left leg. We'll hug the knee in tight to our chest with the left arm. And then as we exhale, we'll turn to the right. Little spinal twist here. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we twist a little bit further. And slowly we'll come back to the center. And then all the way around to the left. Hands will come down to the mat. We'll just bow our head, rounding in the back. Little counter twist here. And then back to the center, untangling those legs, placing both feet back onto our mats. And then we'll cross the left foot over the right knee. Flexing this left foot, hands will go back behind us. Lift the heart, moving the knee away. Good, and then using those right toes, we'll just wiggle the foot out a little bit further, lengthening all the way down, keeping the cross, and just placing that left foot onto the mat on the outside of that right thigh, hugging with that right arm, lifting the heart, lengthen nice and tall, and then exhale, little twist over to the left on this side. And then releasing all the way around to the center, and then over to the right. Hands find the mat or the floor, bowing our head, little counter stretch here. And then back to the center, unwinding our legs, placing both feet onto our mats. We'll roll up into our little ball. We'll rock onto our backs. Good. Let's lift our feet up to the sky. Hands can come behind the calves or behind the thighs. Flexing the feet and gently encouraging those legs to come towards us just a little bit. Good. Let's release that left leg. Both hands come to the right. Lengthen. Just one more breath here. And then we'll bend that right knee, hugging it into our body. And then we'll guide with our left hand, guide the knee all the way across our body. Right hand can just stay on the mat with the right shoulder and our head. And then we'll slowly come back to the center, both knees into our chest. Let's inhale, lift the feet up to the sky. Again, just encouraging them to come towards us a little bit. Then we'll release the right leg. Both hands come to the left. One more breath here. One more little bit of encouragement. And then we'll bend the knee, hug that buddy into our chest. Releasing that knee, guiding it across our body for the spinal twist on this side. And let's come back to the center. Roll up into our little egg. And exhale, releasing ourselves down to our mat in a comfortable position, however we feel the happiest for our Shavasana. We close our eyes. And we soften our body with our exhales. Allow ourselves to just be still for a few minutes. We deepen our breath. Bring subtle movement into our body. We come back into our space. When it is time, we'll bring those knees into our chest. And we'll roll over onto our side. Help ourselves up to seated. Rising up, brand new from our Shavasana. It is a new moment. It is a new day. We are a new person from this moment. We'll bring our hands together at our hearts. Take a moment to check in with how we are feeling and to thank us for all of the gifts we just gave ourselves today. And I thank you so, so much for joining me, for allowing me to help you through your practice, to let me be a part of your journey of wellness and connection. I wish you a very happy day. The light and the divine in me recognizes and respects the light and the divine in each of you. And when we are together, whether physically or virtually, we are one. Namaste.